Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're checking out the Slormancer, a beautiful little pixel art ARPG that's just released out of early access, coming from a small development team of 2 people. This game has absolutely blown me away and I had to show it off this week. It's about half the price of a regular ARPG if you think about the big ones, or even cheaper if you're looking at something like Diablo. And there is a lot to offer here. If you can see past the pixel graphics, if that's not your thing, and the hack and slash nature of the combat, which I'll show off shortly. But before I jump into that, the real draw of Slormancer is its insane customization. So let me show a little bit of that off. Like in most ARPGs, you have attributes, character attributes you can put in. And the Slormancer is amazing in the sense that everything is respecable. So you can see here, I had all my points in this bottom tree, which is all about finding additional Slorm, which is kind of your main resource, as well as movement speed. We also have additional ones here that improve your attack speed, the elemental damage, and max mana, as well as other things you'd normally find on an attribute tree. I'll fill that one out later. We also have skills. So there are 3 different character classes. You can see here, this is actually the Ranger, and you can swap between them at will. So just like that, I'm the Ranger now. I can go off, I can jump into different levels, complete different things, and I will now level up on my own as well. So you can swap between classes really, really freely. Now, the benefit of the Slormancer as well is how many abilities each class has and how customizable they are. Here you can see on my mage, I've got a fair few abilities, but if you look over here, this allows me to augment every single one. So my arcane missile here can change in a multitude of different ways. Same with my Rift Nova, and I'll play some gameplay footage a little bit later to show you some of the different build varieties that they've shown off in their trailers. But just as an example, I have this arcane missile here. I've actually changed it so that I summon a clone that will summon that will do the arcane missile for me. So I can throw down this clone and basically act like a turret. But if I want, I can come in and I can freely turn that off and get all of the resources it costs me to put that upgrade on straight back. So you're never really losing out. You can always respec your build at any time with no punishment at all, which I know a lot of people might not like in an ARPG, but it works perfectly in the Slormancer. So as you can see, I've taken this off, so it's no longer a clone casting, and now I cast the arcane missile. I can shoot it at myself. There's a host of other changes. I can turn this into a different magic school. I can come in here and make it so that I cannot gain mana with my missile, but have it do an insane amount of damage at increased costs. I can come in here as well and make it so that any additional arcane missiles cast out in a line, because you can cast multiple when you get to augment it over time. So I'll throw that one back in there. Same thing again for here. We've got my Rift Nova. My Rift Nova is just a small explosion, but I have it tweaked so that it will repeat itself and do more explosions. You can see here, this little purple mist is also developing. Each additional explosion after the first is increasing the size of that mist until it explodes just like that, and then it continues. There's a lot of options here for insane customization and combos, and what I'm showing you now is scratching the very surface of it. This is nothing in comparison to what you can do. And that doesn't stop there. There is a giant Path of Exile-like skill tree that you come in and you can select even more passives and actual abilities. And that's actually where I've got this little fire elemental here. So I've got myself a minion from that passive tree as well. And I've also got this fire move, this little fire explosion that shoots out fireballs in a bunch of different directions. And then my class ability is a teleport. And then of course, as shown off earlier, there was the Ranger, and there's the Knight over here as well. So I can also just swap over to the Knight. I haven't really played much of the Knight or the Ranger. I've tried them out very briefly, but you can see he's also got all of his own unique abilities with their own unique upgrades as well. And then all of that will feed into the same Path of Exile-like skill tree. So you can see here, I've got these various stones I can place in. So if I were wanting to get this Scorched Earth skill, I could simply just throw in a stone. I've got that. Into the next one, Ancestral Gift, more movement speed, throw in a stone and then continue on like that. But it doesn't even stop there. This game has so much insane depth to it that I really can't capture it all. And I'm just going to have to tell you, you're going to have to try it out yourself if you're liking the look of the game. Now, within that, there's also customization menus in here where you can upgrade salvage equipment. You can reforge it like this. So I can come in, reforge some stats, reforge scores, or reforge just generally the normal stats as well. So there is a lot of different build and customization options, different crafting options. And there's also another upgrade station over here as well, where I can come in, throw in one of my items that's ready for an upgrade, select the right upgrade material, hit there, and there we go, it's reinforced. So I've immediately upgraded that one. and you can see there's a potential meter there. That's something you'll probably want to explore as you play, but essentially the more you play, the higher that potential gets. And if you get it to 100%, you can reinforce it 100% of the time. There's always an upgrade path in Slormancer, and that's half of the beauty of it. Finally, before I get us actually into some combat, we've also got our Slorm Reapers. This is another way you customize your character. As you play through the game, you'll unlock more and more of these Slorm Reapers. You can see there's a bunch for the mage. There's also a bunch for the ranger, and quite a few for the knight as well. These all come with different and varied mechanics. You can see the one I've got on right now is increasing my elemental damage and giving me this power crystal you see floating around me here. And that power crystal will shoot at enemies I see in front of me. I could also look at another Reaper here. This one would increase my max life and mana. And whenever I deal damage to my primary or secondary skill, I'd have a chance to trigger a shockwave. That one I was using for quite a while and is very strong. There's also another one over here that gives you nimble effects. And a one here that actually gives you another ability. So your next skill deals increased damage and applies armor broken to enemies on hit. And you can see how many of them I have not unlocked. And these will also upgrade over time. You can see they have levels on them as well. So these ones here, level 1, level 2, they will level up over time and get more and more interesting. So let's jump into a little bit of combat to show you exactly what that looks like. I'm just going to jump into a random mission here. And mixed in with this, I'll also play some footage from the trailers just to show you the different build varieties. Let's get moving to really show off what this game has to offer. So as discussed, it is a hack and slash primarily. So there is going to be a lot of enemies on screen. You're going to be flying around all over the place. And it can be quite chaotic at times. So it's not necessarily got the same measured combat you'd see in something like Path of Exile, where we've kind of seen that slow down in Path of Exile 2. This is a much more fast-paced hack and slash. You'll see I'm generally deleting enemies as I approach them. I might slow down a little bit on how much damage I'm doing, just so you can kind of see the enemy variety. You can see over here, my Arcane Clone is actively taking enemies out for me, and my Fire Elemental is doing the same thing. So I've automated part of my build so that I can focus on my Rift Nova skill, my secondary skill, and then have my little clone and my little elemental kind of clean up whoever's around me. And you can see my Slorm Reaper had just leveled up there. I'd accidentally changed Slorm Reaper. I hadn't meant to do that. But they do level up over time, which makes their potency increase. I think they level up to level 100, if I'm not mistaken. So continue to move forward. You'll notice as I'm going, you'll see gear drops, you'll see loot drops. There is both a gold find in this game and a Slorm find. So you see these small little green balls floating for me when we kill enemies. That's your Slorm. That's kind of your main resource for upgrading various aspects of your build. And we'll come in here and I'll show off what that looks like. So we looked at those skills earlier. If we come into here, you can see that there is a cost associated with them over here. So this one, which gives me my clone, just has a single upgrade point. Whereas this one has up to 10 ranked points, and each one gives me a little bit more additional damage. And you can see I can freely spec in and out of this skill. I'll get all of the Slorm back if I completely decide to get out of it. And you can completely reset your character in town as well, so you don't have to sit here clicking these buttons. So I'll put all my points back in there, and then I can customize them at my will, change up. I can be in the middle of a match just like I am now, jump into this screen, take all the points out of here, and put them all in here if I want to switch it up. And that is the beauty of this game, is there are endless possibilities and you are completely free to try them all. And as you'll see with some of the footage that I'll play on screen now for you, the build variety is insane. There is an incredible amount of skills, an incredible amount of options for you to explore. And within that, you're going to be finding gear. So let's quickly look at that, bringing you back to my view now. Here, you can see the different items I've picked up in this little game alone. Oh, and some of them previously. And there's so many quality of life improvements in Slormancer. I'm not going to have time to cover them all. But one of the absolute best is a really robust loot filter system. So if you look over here, these are all my different kind of attributes. You might just think it's a normal stat page. This actually functions partially as a loot filter for you. You can see here, I have max mana and mana regeneration ticked, which means they will highlight on items. You actually see this blue item up in the right. As I untick mana regeneration, it's highlighting and unhighlighting. It's highlighting because it has mana regeneration on it, and I have ticked that over in this menu here. So it's really easy to filter in what you do and don't want based on the character you're playing at the time. Now I'll quickly jump out of this map. We'll run away from this one. Come back to town. And as we come up back here to the blacksmith, there is yet another loot filter option. You can see here, I'm currently hiding all of my normal drops. And as a result, I am automatically converting those to my upgrade fragments, which you can find here. So every normal item that would normally drop, instead of dropping for me, it is being converted into fragments at 75% of the value. If I wanted gold, I could also just convert it into gold. And you will find this type of quality of life throughout Slormancer. It is an incredibly streamlined game that has so much to offer. Now, I've only scratched the surface here and what's actually playable. I've recently only finished like the starting section of the campaign, I'd suppose. And I'm now moving in towards what is probably the middle to getting to the end game. I now have a bunch of trials to complete. I have a bunch of expeditions that I can go on. So if I jump in here and start an expedition, you can see that I can increase or decrease the difficulty level. So at level 1 here is 100% max life. If I were to go all the way up to level 10, we're talking about 20,000 max life. You know what? Let's jump in there and quickly see how I'd fare in this one. It's not going to be well. You can see these enemies are absolutely going to destroy me, or it's going to take me 3 years to kill them all. So there is a lot of options here for you to be able to tweak the game to be how you like it. There you go. I've died there. Now, I will say I have found the game to be fairly easy in terms of difficulty. I've not done a lot of these expeditions myself. I've mostly played through the campaign, and through that, I was basically one-shotting the vast majority of things. But you will find in those boss fights as well, which I'm playing footage on that screen now for you. There are a lot of boss fights in the game. There's various aspects of combat that get really deep, but it is a hack and slash, and it's a lot of fun to be had. Now, look, if I were to summarize Slormancer, I would say it is a really casual little indie action RPG. It's a great deal of fun. There's a great deal of build options. And the best part of this game is you're always going to be finding something new. I've got about 10 to 11 hours in the game now, and I have not wanted to stop. I've really struggled to put this game down. It is so much fun. I would highly recommend checking it out if you like fun little hack and slash games and you like to play around with builds, because there is always going to be something new to find, and I'm only scratching the surface with this video. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. A little bit of a quick one from me today, a little bit of a simpler video. I really wanted to get your eyes on this so you can check it out for yourself, because I think these devs have done an incredible job in a field where a lot of people are scared to experiment. They have gone balls to the wall and blown it out of the park. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. As always, if you've enjoyed it, throw a like on the video, subscribe if you want to see more, be in here, that's what really matters. If you want to come hang out in my streams every Tuesday and Thursday, you can find me right here on YouTube and Twitch, 4 PM Australian Western Standard Time, playing games just like Slormancer or Path of Exile, and a host of other options. Until then, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you later. Cheers.